Hello and welcome to News Central Television. I am Dapo Adegboye. The top stories at this hour. 15 arrested in connection to Abuja warehouse looting. Central Africa Republic opposition leader arrested at Bangui airport. Algeria vows to assist Mozambique in fight against insurgency. Details in a moment. We begin the news in West Africa, where a member of the United Nations Independent International Fact-Finding Mission for Sudan, Professor Joy Azelo, has lamented that severe hunger and extreme poverty faced by many and vulnerable Nigerians are pushing people to criminal activities. She, a senior advocate of Nigeria and a law professor at the University of Nigeria, stated this in a statement on Monday in reaction to the looting of the Abuja warehouse allegedly belonging to the Federal Capital Territory. According to Azelo, the looting is an indication of a bad omen. She, however, noted that despite the current economic hardship and desperate times, stealing is still a crime, warning that anyone caught will be accountable according to penal laws. And of course, still on the news at this time, staying in the FCT, police have taken a swift action apprehending 15 suspects in connection with the looting of a warehouse belonging to the Federal Capital Territory Department of Agriculture in the Tasha area of the state. Now, the incident occurred on Sunday morning when residents reportedly ransacked the warehouse, resulting in the theft and destruction of property. In a statement, the FCT Police Command said normalcy has since been restored to the area and the situation is under control. Authorities have also recovered several items, including 26 bags of maize, 5 motorcycles, and vandalized aluminium roofing sheets as evidence linked to the suspects. The looting incident underscores the challenges faced by authorities in maintaining law and order, particularly in the wake of economic hardship experienced across the country. Away from that, in Gamboru Ngala, a border community in Nigeria's Borno state, farmers are defying all odds to pursue irrigation farming. Undeterred by the numerous challenges they face, the farmers are committed to improving food security. News Central's Umaru Kirawa tells us more.
The dusty, rough and untarred road to Gamboru Ngala, Nigeria's border community with the Republic of Cameroon, is a story for another day. Irrigation farming has become a lifeline for these farmers who understand the need to combat the unpredictable weather patterns that greatly affect rain-fed agriculture in the region. Ali Baba, a farmer in this region, spoke to us about their struggle.
Alhamdulillah, sabura ko are karmar kintura wazna kun doya solo le man boyin zuga nana sidin wazna ngo karmar tomato lembe ngo losar lembe ngo ar karmar tomato de ar ngo losar de mai amanji de sha times kolono de ya alhamdulillah.
The farmers here are not just cultivating crops for their own sustenance, but also for commercial purposes, contributing to the economic growth of their community. Borno State Government and Nigeria's federal government, through the Victim Support Fund, are here in the hinterland Gamboru Ngala to support the farmers with improved seed varieties, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, among others.
We have also worked with the Borno State government as they went back to clear the land for the farmers, to make sure there are water sources where we are going. So today we are giving the input knowing that as they go back, there is land, there is water, there are extension workers providing services to support them. Then one of the things we are also doing moving forward is to support them through the farming season. At the end of it, we are also linking them to markets.
Apart from Gamboru Ngala, we have also proposed Wulgo and Dambore, whereby funds are already released. Any moment we are going to mobilize to site. We are having in Lomane, Dikwa, Mafa, and we are having drip irrigation system installation ongoing in Magumeri and Kondega, Bokweri of Kondega, Kulunam of Magumeri. We have totally resuscitated Javi irrigation scheme, whereby right now we are piloting more than 100 hectares, and we are hoping to pilot more than 1,000 hectares.
Ala kungiya shida furo sate victim support wanda ya furo sate ala amkura da ya furo sate ala kurma bana gade kurma an da taksa klan.
Some of the interviewed 1,800 farmers were delighted with the intervention as it will help them to do more.
Bana yankin mu nan kam gaskiya za mu yi noma sosai bare ga shi taki an bamu da komai kuma ga jami'an tsaro kaga yi kuma ga yanayin da muke cikin tsadan abinci ya zama dole ne ma mu tashi mu noma.
Za ku yi mamakin Allah ya yarda Allah ya taimake mu Allah ya ba mu damuna mai albarka.
That is our delight, is when we come in and we see the end product of the work that we are doing, that lives have changed and communities are back and they are restored again. We are often delighted. So for us, it's an extremely exciting moment.
The hope now for the farmers here in Nigeria's border community of Gamborungala with the Republic of Cameroon is to put all these equipment and fertilizers into proper use under a secured environment for enhanced productivity. In Gamborungala local government area of Borno State, for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
In a bid to end violence in Nigeria's Niger Delta region, the European Union and the Search for Common Ground has launched a community-centered project that will end violence and criminality in the region. The country director of the Search for Common Ground, while launching the project in the nation's capital, Abuja, says that the project will promote community-based collaborations around the issues of social inclusion and lack of economic opportunities amongst residents in the Niger Delta. She also says that this will help build trust between the community, the government and security actors, and help in addressing the root causes of violence and criminality in the region.
As we officially launch this project, let us see it as an opportunity to build a resilient and peaceful Niger Delta, setting an example for sustainable development and community-driven transformation. Today, we have the opportunity to empower youth and women to be part of the development structure of the region and create alternative incentives where violence and criminality will no longer dominate the headlines of the Niger Delta. Let us eagerly anticipate a successful and impactful journey ahead.
Out of our interest to see Nigeria achieving its status as the giant of Africa, a secure Nigeria, an inclusive Nigeria, a prosperous Nigeria, and what we can do as a partner is bring resources to the table so that the Nigerian partners can work around their challenges.
We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we have more stories. Stay with us. The need for the inculcation of contemporary education methods have been identified as a major tool if there would be an improvement in the standard of education in Nigerian schools. This was the consensus at the Maiden Education Conference organized by the Education Corps of the Nigerian Army, hosted by the 3rd Division in Jos, the Plateau State capital. Now, News Central's Chizoba Anyonwe has more.
Taking a look at the standard of education in many parts of the country, not forgetting some special institutions of learning, like the command schools, truly gives cause for worry. Considering their poor learning environment, the schools offer low-quality education to pupils and students, especially those of them under the control of the various levels of government in Nigeria. It is on this premise that the Nigerian Army chose the 3rd Division in Plateau State to gather stakeholders in the education sector to chart a way forward.
In today's dynamic warfare landscape, education is key to our ability to adapt, innovate, and overcome challenges. Continuous learning and academic excellence are essential for preparing our personnel for the complexity of modern conflicts.
The Education Corps Commandant is optimistic that the Chief of the Army Staff's initiative for command schools in Nigeria will achieve its purpose.
This gathering, which is the first of its kind, marks a significant milestone in our collective efforts
to elevate the standard of education within the schools and ensure that command schools remain the standard for academic excellence.
With the caliber of stakeholders under this roof, nothing but the best is expected at the end of the event.
The maiden first quarter divisional conference is an avenue for the serving and retired personnel, teachers in command schools, and relevant education stakeholders to reunite, share ideas, and provide solutions to education problems towards the betterment of our command schools in particular.
I believe that the conference will really move the teachers to another level of teaching and teaching methods, so that at the end of it all, we will have the kind of students we are looking forward to having.
Students of the Command Secondary School Jos, venue of the event, were elated as shown in their presentation to their guests. In Jos for News Central, I am Chizoba Anyuwi.
The world is constantly changing, and technology is at the forefront of these changes. In Nigeria, the tech industry has experienced a significant boom in recent years, and this trend is set to continue. Côte d'Ivoire is the biggest international fest hosted annually, where participants make innovative projects with hands-on learning using pictoblocks to make the world a better place. Now, News Central's Bettina Mwedi tells us more.
With the right support and infrastructure, the Nigerian tech industry has the potential to become a major player in the global market. Côte d'Ivoire 5.0 International inspires participants to engage in interactive activities through Learn by Doing and doubt-solving sessions. It is promoting the development of critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication, the 4 C's of the 21st century skills.
The Côte d'Ivoire Championship is our opportunity to showcase the Nigerian young innovators, in the aspect of coding, robotics, and artificial intelligence. It's the first of its kind in Nigeria, and it is our opportunity to showcase our students who are competing with one another to represent Nigeria at the International Championship, Dubai.
The most significant part of it is to see young talents exhibiting a lot of complex projects that during our own time we couldn't have imagined anything like this. So it's so amazing to see young people providing solution to some fundamental societal challenges.
The competition is aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, fostering a purpose-driven environment where the participants can channel their AI and coding skills towards solving real-world problems and unleash their potential to do innovative projects for a sustainable future.
Well, I'm not that really good, but because of this competition, I'm now well attentive in coding classes. My passion for coding is becoming stronger.
What I gain from this competition is how we can use code to help the world, benefit the world generally. Since our project centers on Save the Environment, we are going to use that program in order to make the environment more healthy and suitable for people to live. I learned more skills in the aspect of coding and also learned problem solution.
The future of tech in Nigeria is bright, with many opportunities for entrepreneurs and investors. While the Nigerian government has taken steps to support the growth of the tech industry, more can still be done. It is hoped that the government can provide more funding and create policies that promote the growth of the tech industry in Nigeria. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
In Nigeria, female entrepreneurs have great opportunities to excel. However, they also face a greater number of challenges. Women business owners at an event in Lagos seized the opportunity to call for more support from the government and other relevant stakeholders to enhance their productivity in order to aid them to contribute to the country's economy. Now, News Central's Omolola Ololade tells us more.
Efforts to enhance entrepreneurship have not fully succeeded in mitigating the effect of some of the challenges faced by women entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Nonetheless, women entrepreneurs have continued to find ways to thrive in the face of these challenges. It is on this premise that the NECA Network of Entrepreneurship Women at an award ceremony emphasized the importance of encouraging one another in spite of these challenges, while recognizing their resilience as female entrepreneurs.
In times like this, mental health is critical. It's a healthy body that can run a healthy business. So we do we take some activities to help us to relax, and also people in the health sector that can give us tips on how to keep our mental health.
However, business experts present at the event reiterated some of the challenges faced by female entrepreneurs, saying that these problems are not peculiar to women business owners alone.
A lot has been said about the African woman, but little has been done. So I'm happy that NECA New is taking the bull by the horn and moving women from just the talk level to the action level.
Whether you run in a business that is owned by a woman or by a man, you are all exposed to the same environment. The key issue is for us to encourage the establishment of enabling environments. Right. When we have enabling environments, the issue of gender preference in terms of support will not become an issue.
These women entrepreneurs therefore use this opportunity to call for increased support from the government and critical private sector players for women entrepreneurs to enable them add more value to the economy.
For us is to make sure that we are able to create an enabling environment for women entrepreneurs to succeed, to thrive, and most importantly, to create the jobs that are required to take Nigeria to another level.
As collectives, we've taught them and we train them on issues of advocacy and communication, where they can collectively go and challenge or even access some of these services as a group, which hitherto they would not be able to do as individuals if they were to succeed in that space.
With continued support and a conducive ecosystem, experts believe the future holds a lot of promise for women entrepreneurs in Nigeria. In Lagos, for News Central, Omolola Ololade.
Let's move to health-related matters, where the Adamawa State government has confirmed the outbreak of Lassa fever, as one core member tested positive while 4 others were negative. Briefing journalist in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, the Commissioner of Health, Felix Tamgwanmi, says government is taking measures to curtail the menace before it escalates. The official called on the general public to be conscious of the environment while appealing to them to report any suspicious person.
It is important to note that the index case was admitted on the 22nd February 2024 and after presenting symptoms suspected to have been infected by Lassa fever at Modibo Adamawa University Teaching Hospital.
You're watching News Central now. Coming up, Algeria to help Mozambique tackle terrorism. We have details of this and more after the break. As South Africa's elections draw closer, political parties are on their toes to give a clear message to their supporters on what they will deliver if they are elected into power. Meanwhile, the Economic Freedom Fighters is continuing with its nationwide manifesto launch across all provinces of South Africa, commemorating 30 years since the country's first inclusive elections. Over the weekend, the EFF was in Soweto, where its leader, Julius Malema, said the manifesto draws from its 10 years of political activism and engagement with the people of South Africa. News Central's Bongani Sisba tells us more.
Fondly known as the Red Berets, the Economic Freedom Fighters painted Soweto red at the weekend as party supporters gathered in full force for their Gauteng manifesto launch. The sea of red showed a powerful display of unity and determination to bring about change. Inside the stadium, it was clear that EFF leader Julius Malema is the darling of many as he received thunderous applause and chants of support from the crowd. His presence commanded attention among the youths. Taking to the podium, he outlined the key points of the manifesto with every word resonating with his audience.
Comrades, Gauteng has collapsed. The ANC has destroyed our province. This is where you'll find 3 million people without jobs. This is where 6,000 people are killed every year. How can you have 6,000 people killed every year in a place where there is no war?
From the young to the old, everyone in the stadium shared the same vision, and they said they want a future where their voices are heard and their votes count.
Comrades, we have hospitals without nurses and doctors. Yet at the same time, we've got unemployed nurses and doctors. How can they say we don't have doctors in hospitals, whereas we've got unemployed doctors and nurses? We want to make sure that all these people are in employment.
For these EFF supporters, in their unity lies the promise of a better tomorrow and the realization of true economic freedom for all.
Health department is declining, education system is declining, housing is declining in Gauteng province. And our CIC was here to give us a line of march in order to address those issues that as at the EFF, as we are preparing to become government in Gauteng province, we are going to address.
Julius Malema can change our life. Julius Malema cares for a big black person. So we must vote for EFF because of Julius Malema is fighting for the blacks.
Agenda that was seen by Nkame Nkrumah is coming into life. The agenda of Thomas Sankara is coming to life. And that's what EFF stands for. And that's who we are. And that's what we represent for all Africans, not only South Africans, not only Zimbabweans, not only Zambians, not only Angolans. We represent Africa.
The EFF will be going against strong parties in Gauteng, among them African National Congress, Democratic Alliance, and Action SA, among others. If elected to power, Malema promises to turn around the economy. The upcoming elections are expected to be highly contested, with more than 300 political parties registered with the Independent Electoral Commission. In Johannesburg, for News Central, Bongani Sisiba.
Algeria has pledged to support Mozambique in the fight against kidnapping and insurgency affecting the northern province of Cabo Delgado. The agreement comes after Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi's 4-day visit to Algeria. According to Nyusi, Algeria promised immediate support for the local force fighting terrorism. The two countries have deep historical ties, as the first guerrillas for Mozambique's liberation war were trained in Algeria. The Algerian pledge comes at a time when reports from Cabo Delgado says terrorists passed through Wasanga on Friday night, stole food, and created panic. In East Africa, Somalia has become a full member of the East African Community after completing all the steps required to gain complete membership of the regional bloc. The EAC Secretariat on Monday shared on X that Somalia has gained full membership after depositing our instrument of ratification with the Secretary General of the bloc. Now, last November, the heads of state of the other EAC member states agreed to admit Somalia into the bloc, as Somalia becomes the 8th member of the EAC after Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, South Sudan, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Uganda. The move is intended to boost economic growth in the country, which is still recovering from 3 decades of war. Let's move to the east of the continent, where Sudan's military leader Abdel Fattah al-Burhan has set conditions for considering the African Union's proposal to resolve the conflicts in the country. He insists that Sudan will only entertain the AU's mediation efforts if the continental bloc reinstates Sudan's full membership. On Sunday, al-Burhan met with the members of the AU high-level panel on the resolution of the conflict in Sudan, led by Mohamed Ibn Chambers, to discuss the situation. During the meeting, the Army General emphasized Sudan's confidence in the AU's ability to provide solutions for ending the conflict. In October 2021, the AU suspended Sudan following the military takeover. But al-Burhan's insistence on reinstatement underscores the country's desire to regain its full standing with the Continental Organization. Authorities in the Central African Republic have detained a prominent government critic as he attempted to travel outside the country. Catherine Mboli Gomba, the leader of the Republican Bloc for the Defense of the Constitution, was arrested alongside his wife at the main airport in the capital, Bangui. Mboli and his wife were headed to Douala, Cameroon for medical reasons. His wife has been released, but the politician remains in custody. The reason for his arrest is unknown, but local media reported that he had been targeted by the judiciary after speaking of a legal mafia in regards to a property dispute between him and the family of former President Andre Kolinga. Still ahead, Apple slammed with £1.8 billion fine. Of course, we have details of this story and more after now. Many thanks for staying with us on the news. And of course, let's tell you at this time on Health Matters that South Africa is joining the global community to mark World Obesity Day to raise awareness and improve understanding of obesity root causes and actions needed to address them, and also tackle associated stigma. March 4th is a day set aside on the international calendar to observe and raise awareness about this medical condition. The theme for this year's campaign is Let's Talk About Obesity. And according to the World Health Organization, in 2022, around 37 million children under 5 were overweight, and over 390 million children and adolescents aged between 5 and 19 years were overweight, including 160 million who were living with obesity, 75% of whom live in low and middle income countries. Of course, still on the news at this time, the EU has hit Apple with a €1.8 billion fine for violating the bloc's laws by preventing music streaming services from informing users about subscription options outside of its Apple Store. The European Commission found that Apple applied restrictions on app developers, preventing them from informing OS users about alternatives and cheaper music subscription services available outside of the app. The iPhone maker has immediately vowed to appeal the first ever antitrust fine slammed on Apple by Brussels, the culmination of a case triggered by a complaint by Swedish music streaming giant Spotify.
Today, the Commission has fined Apple €1.84 billion for abusing its dominant position on the market for the distribution of music streaming apps. Apple did so by restricting app developers' ability to inform users of Apple devices about alternative, cheaper options to purchase music available on the internet outside of the Apple ecosystem.
The alleged gang rape of a tourist with Brazilian-Spanish dual nationality in the eastern Indian state of Jharkhand has led to outrage. The 28-year-old woman and husband, who were on a motorbike tour, had stopped for the night in Domkis district, where the alleged attack took place. Police have arrested 4 men and are searching for 3 more. The identities of the men who are also accused of beating the woman's partner have not been disclosed. The couple had traveled to several parts of Asia on their motorbikes before arriving in India a few months ago. The Asian government has declared a 72-hour state of emergency after armed gangs stormed a major Port-au-Prince prison, killing at least 12 persons, and about 3,700 inmates escaped in the jailbreak. Gang leaders say they want to force the resignation of Prime Minister, who has traveled abroad. The group's aiming to oust his control around 80% of Port-au-Prince, as violent gangs wars have killed thousands in the country since 2020. In a statement on Monday, the government said 2 prisons, one in the capital and the other in the nearby Adegboye, were stormed over the weekend. It said the acts of disobedience were a threat to national security and added that it is insisting an immediate nighttime curfew in response, which starts at 8 p.m. local time on Monday.
Police la perte confiance population et de pour pas gagner légitimité ça pour pas qu'à chef sécurité police là même c'est pas même gilet pas balle qui souslia sécurité police là c'est pas même zam qui n'amène là mais plutôt c'est qu'on jodi a tout secteur dans pays a doit chita pressé parce que Ariel pas même besoin entrer dans pays a voyer lettre là pour dire démissionnaire n'a recevoir et puis chita pour nous refaire pays sinon tout ce qui passe dans le pays là, c'est sous contre les États-Unis. La sécurité qui est là, nous sous les policiers capables. Toute l'autorité va blindé à protéger. Regardez-vous, il y a tout à protéger blindé. Venez, il y a tout dirigeant, il y a tout blindé à protéger blindé. Pendant 7 ans, le peuple va blindé. Policiers de la rue, même qui gère papa, ça sous moi, moi cachetel. Ça c'est moi cachetel. Qu'est-ce qui nous donne moi cachetel? Voilà la police qui bombe. Policiers tout unité.
An investigation by consultants into South Africa's state power utility, Eskom, reveals a complex management structure contributing to 152 billion rand, that's about $7.9 billion, in annual losses. Nationwide electricity outages and operational issues have prompted the government to conduct an independent assessment. The investigation calls for simplifying the organizational structure and, of course, decentralizing the chain of command, while also empowering plant managers for improved operational performance. As the report also highlights corruption, crime, and inadequate worker rewards, consultants recommend immediate intervention and reforms to further avoid escalation of the situation at Eskom. At this point, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we have more stories. Stay with us. The Indian government has given the green light for the export of 30,000 tons of non-basmati white rice to Tanzania and 80,000 tons of broken rice to Djibouti and Guinea-Bissau. Through a ratification by the Directorate General of the Foreign Trade, these exports are facilitated by the National Cooperative Exports Limited. Despite the ban on non-basmati white rice exports since July 20th, 2023, the government has made exceptions to address the food security needs of specific African countries. In the past, India had permitted similar rice exports to African nations like Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire, Guinea, and Seychelles. NCEL, a multi-state cooperative society. For some sporting details now, where Nigeria Basketball League champions Rivers Hoppers have intensified their preparation to have a good outing in the 2024 African Basketball League. The Rivers State team qualified to represent Nigeria after they emerged as the winner of the Nigeria League. For the Sahara Conference, they were paired in the same group with APR Rwanda and also AS Dunes of Senegal, and the former champions US Monster of Tunisia. The Nigeria club has acquired the services of Kelvin Amayo to bolster the team for the competition. Amayo helped the Milan side that stayed the Milan to a third-place finish last year. FC Nordjylland has secured the services of promising young Ghanaian footballer Caleb Mato, who joins the Danish club from Right to Dream Academy. The 18-year-old attacker has been integrated into the under-19 youth setup, where he will continue to develop his skills and gain valuable experience. The player becomes the latest addition to the club growing contingent of Ghanaian players, following the footsteps of midfielder Harifat Mohammed, who recently joined the club. Other notable Ghanaians to have joined the club through the same route include Kudus Mohammed, Kamdin Salmana, and also Ernest Naume, amongst others. The talented teenager made his debut for the club on the 17th in a thrilling 3-2 victory over the AGF on Saturday, marking an impressive start to his career with the club. And that's all on the news at this time, but before we go, another look at some of our top stories. We told you that 15 arrested in connection to Abuja warehouse looting. And we also told you that Central African Republic opposition leader arrested at Adegboye airport. Algeria vows to assist Mozambique in fight against insurgency. Don't forget to send in your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. You can also follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 422 Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. And thanks for watching. I am Dapo Adegboye. Bye for now.